Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Safe Schools Rainbow Roundtable. I'm Dr. Dan and it's a pleasure to have you join us. Today we delve into a critical and timely theme, redefining queerness in the 21st century. This episode is a journey through the multifaceted experiences of LGBTQ+ youth as we explore how their relationships can redefine and transcend traditional norms. Today's conversation will uncover what truly makes LGBTQ+ relationships thrive. From the importance of assurances and supportive social networks to mastering the art of developing ethical codes of conduct. We're going deep into the specifics of what these relationships need to flourish, especially in an ever-evolving social and legal landscape. We have an incredible lineup of panelists ready to share their insights. But before we hear from them, let me give you a glimpse of our journey ahead. We'll start with a journey through history and our historical overview, exploring the roots and evolution of LGBTQ+ activism and how it shapes today's relationship dynamics. Then, in real-life experiences, we'll share fictional stories illuminating how LGBTQ+ youth navigate the complexities of relationships, challenging and redefining traditional norms. In our Tools and Resources segment, we'll dive into practical strategies and supports for LGBTQ+ individuals. This will include discussions on platonic relationships, the nuances of romantic connections across the spectrum of sexuality and gender identity, and how ethical frameworks can enrich these relationships. And finally, in the Future Outlook, we'll envision the future of LGBTQ+ relationships. We'll explore how these connections continue to redefine themselves in the 21st century and how expanding queerness can deepen intersectional connections, breaking free from the confines of heteronormative structures of the past. Now, let's meet our Safe Schools Rainbow Roundtable panelists. Each have unique knowledge and experience. This is Harold Marrero. Harold is the Chief Operating Officer of Safe Schools. Welcome, Harold.
Thank you, Dan. I'm so happy to be here.
Glad to have you here as well. And we also have Tiffany Williams. She is the Director of Outreach for Safe Schools and is host of the popular show Tiffany Explains It All. Welcome, Tiffany.
Hi, Dan. I'm really looking forward to today's topics and discussions.
I am too. And then we have Ame Leon. They are the Executive Director of Reflect Collective, an organization that serves queer, trans, POC survivors of sexual and domestic violence in South Florida. Welcome, Ame.
Welcome, and thank you for having me here.
Pleasure to have you. And then we have David Torres. David is a Miami-Dade public school student. Welcome, David.
Hello, thank you for having me once again.
Of course. And then we have Jalea Prendergast. Jalea is a Miami-Dade public school student as well.
Hello, thank you guys for letting me join you guys today.
Happy to have you. So thank you, panelists. With such a wealth of expertise at our table, we're set for a meaningful exploration. In this final segment, the Future Outlook, we delve into how LGBTQ+ relationships continue to evolve and reshape the 21st century. We'll also explore how the expansion of queer theory is fostering deeper intersectional connections among those marginalized by traditional societal structures. As we move further into the 21st century, LGBTQ+ relationships are increasingly stepping away from heteronormative models. This evolution reflects a broader acceptance and understanding of the diverse spectrum of sexuality and gender identities. It's a shift that embraces fluidity and inclusivity, offering a more nuanced understanding of human connections. Expanding queerness goes beyond mere sexual and gender identities. It's about recognizing and embracing intersectionality, the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, class, and gender as they apply to individuals and groups. This approach is critical in understanding the unique challenges faced by those who find themselves at the crossroads of multiple marginalized identities. A key aspect of this evolution is the concept of chosen families. These are support networks formed by LGBTQ+ individuals, often in response to biological family rejection or as a means to find solidarity and understanding. Chosen families provide emotional, psychological, and sometimes financial support, playing a crucial role in the well-being of LGBTQ+ individuals. Safe Schools is at the forefront of this evolution. We're not just creating safe spaces for youth to discuss these topics, but also developing a comprehensive toolkit for LGBTQ+ individuals. This toolkit is designed to explore what it means to be queer in the 21st century, offering guidance, support, and resources to navigate these changing landscapes. So to my panelists, how do you see these developments influencing the future of LGBTQ+ relationships? What role will initiatives like Safe Schools play in this evolution?
So I want to start by saying that I love the word queer. And I know that that's hard for some people of a certain generation, especially among gay men and lesbian women, because that word was used as a slur, they tend to not want to take it back. They tend to like shy away from it. But to me, that word is beautiful because it encompasses so many people and it's just ever expanding. I feel like even the origin of the word as weird, it's like, yeah, let's embrace the weirdness. Let's embrace the things that make us unique, that makes us special, especially in our relationships. As people fall out of normalcy, as people start to explore sexuality, explore gender roles, explore themselves more deeply by themselves and in relationship with others, we can expand queer to almost encompass the entirety of humanity. And that's why queerness is so awesome, because anyone that falls out of the norm enters into the queer space and can be welcomed into the queer space. And the intersectional possibility that creates, the interconnectedness that can bring to our society in terms of breaking down all of these labels that we give to each other, all of these like fake binaries that we put up for each other. We can just break those down because you know what, y'all? We're all queer. And look how awesome that is. Let's explore authenticity together. Let's sit in a space and just like be the best you that you can possibly be. And as long as you're loving yourself and loving others and not hurting yourself, where is the limit? Like, why do we even want to put limits to that?
And one of the things that Dan had said, uniting both of you guys, it was the what role can Safe Schools play in like providing for it? It can show queer audiences that it's like representation. It's what we need. It's a media. It's a form to show that we're here and having conversations and being loud and speaking and having a voice and things like that. And I just think that being able to share your own opinions on like what affects you and what affects people similar to you really like is a thing that people want to see. They like seeing themselves being portrayed in media, represented, and forms like Safe Schools and like what we're doing here, and as well as like Netflix shows and things like that, like being able to see yourself and resonate with your own personality, with a character, that these experiences, these things that you've gone through, they've gone through, it's just a great experience to be able to be like, so it wasn't weird, it wasn't unusual, this is something normal that people do, and like it happens. And like it's important to talk about things because there's always someone out there to relate and to resonate with what you're saying and something along those lines.
And one thing I really love and appreciate about our queer community is that it's always evolving, it's dynamic, it's not static, and round tables like this offer new opportunities, even for me to learn. And Ame, you taught me a new phrase today of queer platonic partner. And I love that term. And we talked about chosen families, and I'm wondering if you could say more about how a queer platonic partner intersects with chosen family. Is it different, the same?
Yeah, totally. So a queer platonic partner is basically, it's a queer relationship with like either one or more individuals where you feel like your life is kind of like tied to theirs, if that makes sense. So usually like a good example, for example, is like, I don't know if anyone has seen Full House.
Yeah, I love Full House.
Okay, so you know like how there's like the men and then like the family, like the men are considered like queer platonic partners, at least like from our perspective, because they literally decide, like it wasn't the romantic partners that actually decided like whether they were going to live together or not. It was that family, that I guess like relationship that determined, okay, like, well, you know, we're going to stay. Because I think there was like this one time where like Joey was like, yeah, like I think I might move out or something like that, because like I think his romantic partner wanted to like move out or something, and ended up staying because
of that.
He was thinking about his queer platonic partners.
Oh.
So that's kind of like what it's like. It's like literally, it's kind of like borderline romantic, but it's like at its roots like platonic, and you literally decide like you in your life like how like they're a factor in your life and what your living situation and stuff like that looks like, and they're even included in like your own family too, like the way that they raise their children and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different from family, but it's very similar. I would say it's like kind of like the Venn diagram I was talking about before. Like it's very like interconnected, and I do consider like Taya in addition to my queer platonic partner family as well. But like 100,000%, like I'm literally gonna make decisions with her in mind, like for the rest of my life, basically. So it's kind of romantic, but it's platonic. So it's just a very interesting like term. And I don't know, do any of y'all have queer platonic partners?
On that note, yes. Well, yes and no. Let me explain. So yes, I had that, and now you explained it, I was like, wait, oh my gosh, wow, okay. I'm like, I'm learning so many new things today. But it was actually a toxic, was it?
Yeah, I mean, platonic relationships, even queer platonic relationships can also have like toxicity, abuse, like it can be in any relationship.
I was like, oh wow, like because I recently like got out of a very long term like friendship, like almost over like a decade and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. And she just kind of like left me hanging, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like what did I do wrong? Because we had that type of like relationship where like there were times where people would be like, you're always around her, like, are you like, do you find her attractive? I was like, no, like I think she's attractive, but I don't, not in that romantic setting. But like if I do something, I always think about her when I'm making the, like a plan, or like we would always be there for each other. And there was like an incident where like she found out something about me from another friend, and then she was like, well, you've never done that with me. And I was just like, it just kind of happened with the other friend. It wasn't like intentional. It was just like, you know, we were teenagers and it just happened. And she kind of like forced herself on me, and I was just kind of like, oh, this is weird. And then like she pretended like it never happened. I was like,
oh my,
I don't, but like I was very confused.
yeah.
Then I was like,
Yeah.
did you just like use me as like as an experiment? Like I was so confused. But yeah, and then I started realizing a lot of correlations in our relationship, and I was like, oh wow, this is actually not good. And I was like very delulu in the in the relationship. I was just like, here I am thinking everything's great.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like another thing that like Safe Schools and like other organizations like Safe Schools can provide is like, you know, me just talking about queer platonic relationships, you all of a sudden open your mind up. And it's like learning about terms, learning about like different relationships. You even just like seeing like other relationships at play can help you recognize patterns within your own relationships. And that's like, I think something really special about what Safe Schools does. It's that it allows community building and also community modeling, you know, where people see what they want in their relationships and model it in their real life, you know, so it's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's something that we're really trying to focus on. So like part of this whole push that Safe Schools is doing to be more in the digital space is to showcase authentic stories of what it means to be queer in the 21st century. And shows like the Rainbow Roundtable and Tiffany Explains It All, the Tea with Eddie, and now Taboo Talk with with David over here. So, really are showcasing the different perspectives that exist. And you know what we want to do as Safe Schools is provide toolkits, digital toolkits that people can utilize, that people can see themselves
Fantastic.
in, that people can add language to their vocabulary so they're better able to define who they are, to say this is who I am, but also to speak about their experience with others. So
amazing.
And it's so important for us to partner with organizations like yours and reflect. You know, we have your mutual queer platonic partner, QPP,
Yeah.
is also one of, you know, a really great friend of ours. And we want to empower, not just empower individuals, but empower nonprofits like yours to do more, to be more, to say more, to really showcase your best selves in all the spaces that you inhabit.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only way we're going to get through this. If us as queer people, we don't unite and we don't stand up against not just the oppression that we see, but in the outside, but also the oppression that we see from the inside, and we don't start speaking up and saying like that's not right, like that's not the way that we treat each other.
Like calling people out.
It's calling people out, but in a loving way, lovingly calling them out.
Through restorative justice. Methods,
Yes,
right?
yes, and we're not. They're just gonna run all over us, and we're gonna be taken back to the 1950s. And honestly, y'all, I did not want to go back to the 1950s. It was not fun for anyone except if you were a white straight man, and even for them, it wasn't that fun because look at them today. So
I mean, I wouldn't want to be one. Like
exactly. So yeah, so that's part of our mission, part of our plan, and I am so grateful for all of you here today, and I'm just grateful for the programs like this. And there's more to come. There's more to come.